All right, we'll go ahead and start the meeting. Everybody please stand and say pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the August 6th County Commissioner meeting. Does anybody, at this time, we're going to open up for anybody that have anything that's not on the agenda who wants to bring it up. We can hear what you have to say. We can't act on it, but we can take it under advisement. All right. Then the first item up on the agenda is the Sheriff Department maintenance invoices and contracts.
So first, I would just say that we've received a mediation request or demand. Outside counsel, as well as counsel's attorney and myself, are crafting, I think, a response. I think dates have been sent out to reserve for that if it's necessary, but with the understanding that I think this was placed on the agenda prior to that occurring, specifically the request from the Sheriff's Department. I don't know that we're going to address anything specific on the invoices. However, there is one matter that I think we do need to address because there's a time frame that I think kind of affects the county council to a certain degree. So the county has been getting notices related to what seems to be a tax exempt lease purchase agreement for radios through US Bank. The agreement looks like it has a signature from the sheriff from February 12th of 2024 with signatures from the bank for February 20th of 2025. We have other lease agreements, or lease to purchase agreements. I think specifically one involves the ambulance that was purchased last year after, I think, putting it in front of council. My understanding with this specific contract, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, for this board, I've never seen this contract before. We received some of the notices that the county was quote unquote in default on the contract for failure to pay. There's a cross collateralization clause in the contract, and US Bank has indicated that they intend to default us on the payment related to, even if we were paid in full on the ambulance, which everyone knew about, we are. They were saying that they were going to default us on that as well as this contract for the radios. And part of the issue that I think is been kind of described is that neither the council nor the commissioners were ever consulted regarding the contract. And prior to July 1st of 2024, there was some case law that kind of indicated that the sheriff had not unilateral authority, but had authority to enter into contracts on his own, provided that there was sufficient appropriation by the county council in advance of execution of the contract. These would be for things like jail medical contracts and other things that are constitutional guarantees for inmates, or within the purview of the Sheriff's Department itself. But after those cases came out, the legislature adopted Indiana Code 36-2-2.9-4. It states that if a county officer has a proposed contract that the county officer believes is necessary for the county officer to carry out any constitutional or statutory duty of his office, and for which funds have been appropriated by the county fiscal body to pay for the contract, the county officer must have the county executive execute the contract or submit the contract for review under this chapter. Subsection B states that the county executive may void any contract that a county officer executes without first complying with this chapter. So I think what the question is I think it's pretty clear that that section was not followed. It was not submitted to this board. I will warn you that there's some risk associated with voiding it just because I don't know how the bank will react to us arguing that the contract was voided, especially when one of the signatures, at least the sheriff's signature date, predates the effective date of this provision, the statutory provision. But I think the county council needs to know in advance of their meeting next week,
Tuesday.
whether this board intends to void that contract or to approve it contingent on council appropriating money from the mandated order budget to pay for it.
What's the number? Are we able?
41 something.
41,007.
Well, that is the total amount.
Yeah, I've
The
heard a
payment's
different
like
number.
'There's a
11,000, right?
payment for 11,000, which includes
yeah.
$528 in late fees.
The current payoff is like 11,000.
That's the payment.
To get us current. Let me hear. $11,007.80 looks like, dated July 29th is the most recent communication that I have, but that has it been 10 days?
Is that the final payment on that?
No.
No.
This
There's
is
no
just to get us
no
current.
payments have been made on.
When was payment expected? The first payment, since there's a date of 24 and then a date of 25.
Last bill I saw, they requested payment by May the 20th, was the last payment, or the last bill that was sent. And then the late fees were attached after that.
So if we agree to stay with the contract, then the council can take that money out of his budget.
I would say that's the only place that they could probably take it from right now, unless there was an agreement amongst them to use LESCO funds, which I don't think would be a viable situation at this point.
With it being radios, they are essential communication emergency matter for life-saving medicine. So I don't want to void it and take away those communications. I would like to see, keep that, and then from his mandated budget, take it out of there. He entered into it, and so he needs to use his budget to pay for it.
And I know that, I think probably from Jennifer's perspective, some of her concern was that there was not a properly submitted claim from a line item within that budget. I will tell you that the SBOA defines, appropriate officer as it would include the county council. If they make a choice to pay that claim out of a specific line item, from my perspective, our approval of it contingent on that would be sufficient to make the claim.
There is a claim from Lisa, but not from
I understand there's a claim from Lisa, but
nothing else.
yes.
The whole cross collateral clause is very unique, in my opinion. I mean, that's,
Yeah, that's a big
I think
That's-
that's probably why, county officers should in the future be submitting contracts for review well in advance of purchase. And again, understanding that there was some prior case law that did indicate that assuming the sheriff did have appropriated funds, he could execute certain contracts under his authority.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that the legislature responded to that by adopting a separate statute that became effective in 2024 that allows this board, well, first off, commands officers to present it to this board and allows us to void any contracts that are not submitted in compliance with that chapter or subsection. So
I mean, like I say, that particular clause, when it's tied to an ambulance, is not good, right? So,
I don't
mean,
know. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want? I mean, I think we ought to go ahead
The
and
radios are essential, I mean, so
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
then I'll make that unanimous that we will present it to the council to go ahead and take it out of the sheriff's budget
From the mandated funds.
from the mandate funds. Yeah.
So that is all I have on that issue at this point. Sorry.
All right. So moving on to the next item on the agenda is IT computer bids.
How is everyone?
Good, you?
Thank you, sir.
You just want to pass them on down. So last meeting, we opened up the bids for the new computer project. I went ahead and just consolidated the bids and shrunk them down to a spreadsheet, so it's a lot easier to go over. The light green, we'll just start with Dale. I'll start with the issues that I had during the bids reviewing them. Dale, the light green, there was 2 laptops that had no touchscreens, which was a requirement. Hypertech in the blue, there was 2 sets of laptops that had no CPU spec in the spec sheet. So I didn't know what kind of processor we were getting. So it boils down to GovGoods. They were in, so the whole section's in spec. You have the Ryzen 7 project, the first set of 3, with a total of 217,000. Then the second set was the Ryzen 5 processors, totaling at 194. Then if we go back to the top from Lenovo, we have a Ryzen 7 at 202,822 total.
Andrew, if I could ask you a question, the light green, the non-touchscreen.
Yep.
Why do we need touchscreen?
So that laptop was for the officers, for the
Okay.
sheriff's deputies. Their MDTs,
Yeah.
their system is all touch.
Gotcha. I didn't know if that was specifically.
And backlit keyboards was a requirement on those also. When they're in the car every night, their keys are illuminated.
Gotcha.
So the backlit was all across the board there, but Dell didn't provide the touchscreens on the 14-inch laptops.
Gotcha.
Lenovo at the top came in all within spec, and actually all the laptops after read the spec sheet were backlit and touchscreen, so it's kind of an added benefit. And I think their price range came in fairly well.
Well, for the first phase, right?
That would be my recommendation to you all. The Ryzen 7's a very good processor. I know they're competing down there with HP with the Ryzen 7. The 250 is actually not as good as the Ryzen 7 7735.
So your recommendation is Lenovo?
Yep. I think we're getting a little extra stuff, and the price point is right there. So
I'm good with that.
especially comparing.
You're saying the yellow?
Yep.
And you're saying that the light green and the light blue are not responsive because they failed to provide
Correct.
information.
Blue Hypertext, the spec sheet did not have the processor type, so I had no clue what the laptops were coming in was.
Okay,
Then the Dell had no touchscreens.
gotcha. And that won't work.
Nope.
Gotcha. So what you're left with is, and your recommendation is for the yellow?
Yep.
Okay. Which is not
202.
comparable to the bottom number in the dark green because that's a.
So their Ryzen
that
7,
5 is
yeah,
obviously
Yeah,
not.
it's lower quality.
yeah, you're 194,000 with that. You're cheaper than the 202, but
I
that's
understand.
you're a
So,
big
but-
gap
but
from 5 to
But the
7.
Ryzen 7 to the Ryzen 7, the best value is $202,822.
Absolutely.
Higher quality processing.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You're getting a lot more.
I figured that's what we did. Let's just make sure.
What kind of warranty we getting?
3 years.
Then how are you paying for it?
I'm going to the council on the 12th, and we're going to discuss that.
I'll make a motion to approve it and send it to council.
I'll second that.
I'll make it, yeah.
Let's say contingent on
Yeah.
the council
Yeah.
appropriating the funds, and before you sign anything,
Absolutely.
you come back to us.
Well, I will.
You know the drill.
Yeah, I know the drill. Yep.
Thanks.
You guys got anything else for me?
No,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
you want to hang out in case this don't work? All right, next item on the agenda is the highway uniform policy and CCMG updates. Kevin Holt.
We got a policy.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Let me go look.
I'll start with CCMG if you don't look for that.
Lover's Lane's looking good today.
Yeah, 99% of it done around a oil there towards the end. I just talked to the foreman there. Start with Kinder Hood. They can send in their second pay thing here. So talked to Super there 2 days ago. Looks like they're going to try to get all the guardrail in and have the base asphalt down by Friday. So if they meet all those goals, it might even be open first week or maybe Friday. They're going to go through a little different what we've done in the past. They're going to go through and put base layer of HMA down, and then when they get all the structures done, they're going to come back and do a finished asphalt over top of them, which is fine with me. It gives it time to do a little bit of shifting and settling. I think it'll work fine. So anyway, they're probably running a little behind, mainly just because of water. Putting the wing walls in. But that one day they had 3 diesel pumps running down there to try to get the water to go around to for them to get down there. But all in all, still good. Chip seal into things. Let's see, they got Witsit, Terry, Green Bend, Lover's Lane done, chipped, and they're Friday, tomorrow, they're going to start fogging those roads. They're going to back up and start fogging those roads. And then they're thinking they ought to be out of here middle of the week, next week. They should be packed up and gone. So they're moving aggressively fast.
Do you know if they're going to brush those roads before they fog them?
Yes, they will room very well before they fog.
And thank you for moving by on today, because I didn't want to be beheaded today. So
Well, and there's some discrepancies there. I mean, people was asking me about us chipping sealing in front of Vine, and I was like,
it was
that's a state road.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's a state
so I
road.
just.
So I would just
We don't want to undo
urge
that.
everybody,
No,
reach out to the
That's a lot
highway
of work.
department.
We did get we did get Jefferson County down today and I think Southeastern Equipment calibrated our new chipper. Ended up going out to Westlake Road, a little slower road, and started out like you would think. Ended up back at the shop, does some calibrations and tests.
That's where I left.
Yeah, but back out to the road, they got that dialed in, got that going. We did the majority of that road. Jefferson County's gonna come back tomorrow with their distributor. We using their distributor, their old distributor. They're still in process of getting a new one going. That'll do full width. Right now we're doing it side to side, which works good. The only I would say the only challenge right now is making all those trucks match that chipper, because they have a menagerie of like several different brands of heights of trucks, and we have a menagerie of several different brands of trucks. So we got to make all those trucks work or kind of work with that, so that we could use them all, at times. That's the only challenge. That's gonna be a challenge no matter what.
More shovels.
Yeah, let's show one if we get them to work good, right? But besides that, yeah, it went good. That was really just a test. That's all we're gonna do. We didn't plan on doing a lot of shipping in this county this year because we didn't know what equipment was coming in or anything. This was just a training. Jefferson County's gonna try to do 10 or 15 miles over there, so I'll probably cross train guys send a couple of my guys over there and let them ride in their distributor to get, one of our guys did today, to get familiar with the distributor, how it operates up on their chipper. Kind of cross-train back and forth. It went good. I was happy with it. I mean, I think those two counties coming together, that's really good. That's a kind of a rare thing to happen, and it went real good, especially for the first day.
Yeah.
We had, at one time, we had all the contractors pulling out of our shop and us there, so we had a full house today, so.
It was wild.
Uniform policy. Yeah, this carries over from the last meeting, I think. Is this what they wrote?
That's what Lori sent back, yeah, with Wagner over in Chile.
Okay.
Have you already discussed with the council on what the stipend will be?
No, but we are funded. We're budgeted this year, and I put the same budget down next year. And my intention is just to break it up with how many employees there is and go from there. But I'll have to go through the budget. It probably won't start till next year. Because we're so deep into it now, I don't think the funds will be there.
Yeah.
So if we could get it set for this year, and then I can go to council and
Have to report there budget time.
yeah, if that's what I need to do, I need to set a stipend out of that line. I don't know how much.
I think probably setting a stipend, the specific amount would be preferable.
Yeah, and they got it wrote down. I guess what we would try to do is buying, March 1st. Yeah. I'll try not for that, but just don't bust it up how many people there is.
Yeah.
Divide it up.
Yeah, that was the only question I had about the policy. Everything else was good.
Yeah, looks good to me. I'm happy with it. You all good with it? We'll take that for next time. I'll take that to the budget hearing. That's all I got.
Do we want to table or,
I think
There we go.
or approve it
Probably
based on contingent of the?
I would probably just table it, with the understanding that it sounds like everybody's in favor of it, but if you're gonna be waiting to next year anyways, go back to council, figure out what they're comfortable with in terms of.
We'll go
what
through
you
that.
need.
We'll go through the numbers and then maybe if there is enough money to do a draw and just do it. We're not in contract with the uniforms. We're out, and that's what we've
Okay.
potentially done. So we can go. We're done. We don't.
Have you already swapped to like normal clone?
No, they're still wearing uniforms and we're still paying it,
Oh, okay.
but there may not be enough to do a set amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like set that and say, okay, here's your stipend.
Yeah.
Because we use it up in uniforms. So we may just have to pay the uniforms out for the rest of this year.
I think that probably makes the most sense, just make it effective January
January 1st
of
with the new budget.
2026.
That's probably gonna make the most sense at this point.
And if you wanna come up with what you think, meets the criteria you put in here with the amount that you think should be distributed biannually, then put that in front of council, and as long as they're
Yeah,
with it, putting it in the budget, then we can come back and approve it before January 1st.
I think that would work good. The main reason on the uniforms is because you can't hardly keep them in budget because they just keep cranking it up every week. They come up with something, so it's the way we're done with it.
I'll make a motion to table this contingent on budgetary timeframe and come back and hear from you.
One second.
Okay, next. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, Big Ox property cleanup.
So the ongoing Big Ox property cleanup, Tim Bruner at the Health Department, sent some updated photos of the property, and they had been out there looking at it. From some of the latest photos that I've seen, the grass has been mowed, but that's about it. There's really been very little debris pickup. So,
Is that RV being occupied?
according to Tim, he doesn't think anyone's living in it, but he doesn't know. Nor do I. I mean, I don't know. That was a real concern that I had when we had saw it sitting out there on site, so. And I guess the other thing too, Zach, is, the ownership of the property. One of the things that I tasked him with when he had came in to meet with us is establishing that. I've yet to see anything unless something's been sent to you.
Not that I know of.
So from my standpoint, I mean,
I will say, we can't force that. I mean, we have a limited jurisdiction here, and it's, our order is relative to rehabbing or demolition of unsafe buildings and structures. If there's other issues going on, like dumping or RV issues related to solid waste or something like that, those issues really do need to be looked at by the health department through their processes. We did have the one, I don't know whether the one question I have is the material that's in one of the pictures, is that from the building that was torn down?
It looks like, yeah.
Okay.
And no,
So we probably do have the right to request that material be disposed of if it's from that structure.
well, the reason I present that question is that how do we know that we're dealing with the proper person on this property? I mean,
I understand this, the statute provides that any interested person, even if it's not the record owner,
take up
can have an issue and has right to notice and due process. So for instance, like if there was a tenant or something on the property, maybe they don't own it, but they got a right to know before we knock the house down. But he's come before us and, said on camera that it's, he was to receive it essentially as part of the estate of his father. But he hasn't done anything to legitimize the claim. But either way, I would just say in terms of what we ordered to have happen, we ordered that the structures either be rehabilitated or destroyed, and the debris removed. From what I can tell, one of those structures no longer exists, but we still have debris related to that structure there. I can't believe that would cost that much to get rid of at this point, or take that much time.
Well, I think there's like 3 structures. I mean, one of the structures, yes, they did take down, but we still have, we've still got an old trailer of some sort out there that's growed up in the weeds.
Yeah. There was one that he indicated he wanted to rehab and live in, which I think is that one. Yeah.
What's your advice there, Zach?
And he's not been in to communicate since
He
then.
has not been communicating extremely well.
So I thought we kind of had a deal last time.
Yeah.
And, when he was in here.
Again, I think
Do we need to wait? Or
you could request, him to come in again and update the board specifically.
The problem I have though, the people that live out there, they listen to that every meeting we have. So
Sure.
they're past that point.
But I'm just telling you, get into demolition of private structures on private property, especially, let's just logically play it out. Let's say you vote to move forward with a third-party contract to demolish, okay? They're not gonna go out there and do it if he says, don't come on my property. So we're gonna have to go seek a court order to enter onto the property and enforce the order adopted by the board. I mean, we can do that. And he'll have the right to show up and, have all the same rights for a hearing in front of the judge probably.
That's where I'm at. I'd like to get that process started. We can always pull that, I believe, if that's where it's at. And I would like to say, if he wants to come in and talk about that, and then show some improvement. I mean, I'm not seeing any improvement out here, nor has his neighbors. I mean, that's.
For those watching live at home, how long has this been going on? How long has this battle been going back and forth?
It's
18 months.
Yeah, say over a year.
And then just since I've been on the board, has he come forward to communicate, right? Because I think that was one of the first meetings where I was trying to locate him as well.
They showed up one night. I mean, here's the problem.
So you've been
We've
trying
done our due diligence.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Or anybody can say, well, we tried to reach out. We've done that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was just trying to
we-
make backstory.
Yeah, we've went above and beyond. And this is, like I say, 18 months. So, my request is to submit court order, unless there's real action, we can always pull that. And, if not, we move forward down that direction.
I hope he reach out and wants to talk.
All right, so
And again, you're welcome to talk, but you gotta have a plan.
Yeah,
And that was the one thing that I asked when I come in, provide a plan. And we had a whole list of things, and so far, I mean, you provided him your personal number to reach out and talk to you, and as far as I know.
and he
it's not-
has a couple times. I'm not
Okay.
saying he hasn't.
Okay, well, that's good.
Not as much as I would have expected,
But nevertheless, part of that plan was cleaning up property.
Yep.
And so I'm not seeing that, so I don't know.
It's an environmental hazard. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm big on environmental stuff. So,
not only that too, I mean, some of the debris that's thrown down, we really don't know what's under some of that. Because at one time, there was several bags of trash and such out there, so that's where I'm at with it.
So your motion is to go ahead and start the process.
My
Or have
motion is
Zach
to
go
move
ahead and start the
forward.
process.
I'll second that.
And I'll make that unanimous.
I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Commissioner Community Building bids at 110 South Second Street in Scottsburg, which is our old church that the county owns. So the winning bid was Temple and Temple.
Nobody's voted
Did you
yet
know?
to award any bids. No.
That's true, we haven't.
Well, I know that they had the cheapest bid. Temple and Temple had the cheapest bid. That's what I was trying to.
Okay.
Also,
And then,
There was a
Next.
bid, I think is this the one that there was like a bid that was not opened?
There was one that was sent by computer.
after we open the bid.
Well, it was sent prior. There was a Temple and Temple was sent
By mail.
by mail. And then there was one sent earlier the day of the meeting. It was sent through email. I received it. The high day one, I believe.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't.
Do you need me to print that off?
we had to print it off one time. We
I
read
think
it.
we did.
Yeah, we read it in the meeting.
Okay.
He came in at,
No, Paul Temple submitted one Thursday, July 17th at 8:07. So after the meeting with the concrete estimate.
he came back and agreed to meet that with the concrete as well. Right, Paul?
I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
But also another thing, went back and looked at the Credible Times. It was posted after our first July meeting to close before our second July meeting. We never voted to approve to advertise that in the minutes or anything.
I know we did.
And the paper that we had, even the minutes that said, none of us signed that paper, so we didn't, I don't know if we legally,
I don't think you have to approve an advertisement as long as you've basically voted to move forward with the bidding process.
so I just want to make sure we followed it.
Like, I don't think you have to say, we're going to advertise it. this time. You just have to comply with the statutory requirements for advertising.
I just wanted to make sure.
I think the timeframes have been complied with. Now, as for like late changes to a bid, once bids are closed, they're closed. Once they're submitted out for advertising, they're closed, right? There's no process for amendments to those. There are some, they're limited. And it's not just, hey, we want to add this in. That's not how that works. So in determining whether to accept a bid or not, you cannot consider anything that was not part of the original advertisement for bids.
Yeah, so no matter what was done previously, it's what was
There's
submitted.
no concrete.
Right.
You have the right to reject all bids if you decide that you want to go a different direction on the scope of work or the specs for it, but you have to restart the entire process.
Well, I for one wouldn't be open to starting the entire process over.
Well, if you want concrete floor over wood, then that would be the only measure going forward, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a deal breaker if we didn't do concrete floor. I mean, it'd be nice, but,
This is something y'all been working on for a while, so I would defer to y'all and do what y'all's vision is for that.
Well, I mean, one thing also that's different is High Day was going to replace windows, and which Temple did have $10,000 in there to. How was that? Was it fixed?
There's an allowance in the bid for $10,000 for rehabbing the windows.
Rehabbing windows.
I guess how it worded.
So it's really for $7,000 difference. We do get concrete floors and we get new windows. That's the $7,000 difference.
I just want to be clear. You cannot require a bidder to submit to an after-the-fact modification.
Right.
So I'm just telling you, you cannot enforce the concrete provision.
No, but what I am saying, the one that was for $7,000 more, it had concrete listed in it.
Well, and that's I guess what I would ask is, was that communicated in a way such that they believed that that was a modification that needed to be submitted at the time?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see this, personally, I mean, I believe it just needs what was sent out. And then there is some differences there, but at the end of the day, I mean, the low bid was Temple. But I know where you're going with that, and I agree with you. I mean, but I'm not so sure.
I'm not saying either. Wait a minute. First off, I'm not saying. I'm just laying the differences
Right.
between the two bids.
Yeah, there is some.
They was very
Difference in-
competitive, very tight bids.
Yeah, but you're right. There's differences there.
Yeah.
Kind of much like, what Andrew's talking about with the computers, right? So
Yeah.
I get it.
Let me ask you this. If we go with the lowest bid and we decide that we want concrete in there, can we then
No.
pay more for concrete?
I do not believe that you can modify after it's accept or reject. That's the way this
There's no
works.
change order
There's
type
no-
thing.
no.
I mean, concrete would be ideal. To me, though, it's not a deal breaker.
Or Temple decide they want to put concrete.
Randy, it is.
I'm asking if they
it is
decide.
not- You cannot,
Enforce it,
no.
right. I'm not
absolutely
asking
not.
if we can enforce it. I'm
You
asking
can't
if they
even
decide
consider,
it's
you
cheaper.
cannot consider it in this meeting at all related to the contract. You cannot. It was not part of the bid.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm asking you again.
I mean,
That church has been sitting there since 18 something, right? So
you can reject all bids and
I
start
think
over.
that, I think what was submitted will be okay.
I was following y'all's lead.
You can consider whether they complied. They're responsible and responsive bidders, and at that point, the statutory preference and requirement is to accept the lowest bid.
But if you don't feel comfortable with it and want to throw it back out, that's,
If y'all truly want concrete, I'd be more than open to reject all, re-advertise, so that way we can get concrete doors. It's a novel idea, just go ahead, clean slate, make it right.
it's up to you. If you feel strongly about it, that I'm fine
I'd
with
like
that
to
as well.
move on this church, to be honest with you.
Well, that's where I'm at. So that's why, to me, I'm just saying, I don't think the floor is a deal breaker. There may be some benefit, maybe not putting the concrete in. I don't know.
Or you want to make a,
I make a motion to award the low bid to Temple and Temple for whatever that dollar amount was.
Contingent
Contingent on,
upon, we will have to adopt a separate ordinance approving the use of
restricted.
restricted opioid settlement funds and send that to council for an additional appropriation. Jennifer will need to go ahead and advertise for that amount from that line item. And assuming that that is all approved, then yes.
Well, that's the motion. And what was the amount on that? Do we have? We don't have
I
that.
think I have it with me. I can go look.
Paul probably knows what it is.
$324,500.
324,500.
I'll second that.
I'll make that unanimous.
Next question.
Yeah.
So that's go to council for the opioid.
Yeah, we're trying to use very specific funds, which I don't think council would have felt comfortable appropriating in advance before we had a specific amount. So because of that, we're gonna have to we don't budget reserve the restricted category funds or the unrestricted because they come in as needed requests. So we're going to ask for advertisement for an additional appropriation. We will probably approve a resolution at our next meeting and it'll go to council. You need 30 days,
It'll be the September.
the September meeting for council to approve the appropriation. If that goes through, then it's done.
So really, if everything falls in line, September, it really gets awarded.
Yes,
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
All right. So next item on the agenda is the transfer station compactor scales.
And since I know that this is going to be my request, can we skip down to the area plan ordinance changes? I think we got two people who were taking up time for. I know we have other situations. I'm not saying there's not other people here waiting for other things, but I don't know if this one will take that long.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second it.
I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you.
those who don't know me, I'm Carly Ginn. I am the attorney for the Advisory Plan Commission. And as I was sitting here looking at these, I realized that I kind of left out some important information. So before we kind of get on it, I want to kind of get everybody exactly what we're talking about. Oops, there we go. Okay. As you probably are all aware, our comprehensive plan and our zoning ordinance, for that matter, are getting some age on them. The comprehensive plan, I think that was approved in 2001, has been updated since then. And zoning ordinance, I know it's approved in 2001, but I think there's been some updates since then. But at any rate, since we are almost full on our Advisory Plan Commission, we are got 8 of our 9 members. It's been a long time since we've had that many, but we're really making a concerted effort to try to get the comprehensive plan updated and some zoning ordinances. I think as a BZA, and now we're kind of running into some issues with people, just some of these outdated things. We're getting a lot of requests for variances and things of that nature. We met on most recently July 14th. We had all of our 8 members there except for 1. We started that conversation, about how we wanted to update some things, and we're just making, this is a really kind of a tiny step, but it's one that I think is very important. And what I did, the proposed amendment we are asking for is going to apply to A1 rural residential. So I guess I can make that clear. It wasn't very clear on that memo. Currently, the minimum lot size for rural residential is 2 acres, and the minimum road frontage is 200 feet. That is something that really no one around us does. I don't know if they ever did it, but there was a reason back in the day, way before my time and a lot of our times here, there was a reason more of the soil issues, the septics, they just needed that much acreage to do that. We've kind of discussed that as obviously technology has come a long way. So the septics would be able to handle that. So we'd like to reduce the minimum requirements from 2 acres to 1 acre. And to correspond with that, currently the minimum road frontage is 200 feet. So we'd like to reduce that to 100 feet. Certainly there would still be other requirements. I mean, that the appropriate septic and things like that would still need to be made. So it's not like this is going to override anything like that. But I think we feel that is going to help with affordability in housing. It's going to be a little bit more efficient land use too. We're having a lot of people in the community kind of bucking any development in the agricultural.
I got a lot of calls.
Yes, and concerned that they want to remain agricultural, which I get that, but at the same time, this kind of got to kind of move forward as well. With reducing these lot sizes, that might help. That's not okay. If we're going to require one residence to have 2 acres, that's taking up a lot more land than really needs to be.
Yeah.
So if you just reduce down to 1 acre, and I know some concern, well, that means that instead of 10 houses, people might do 20, but deal with that as we get there. But anyway, I think it will give us a little bit more efficient land use, and like I said, it's just going to update, and that's kind of just how other counties around us have been doing it. So
we're not going to be burning up land just to be burning up land.
Exactly. And then in that, which I had completely forgotten, which I'm glad that Mr. Julian had reminded, that with the setbacks, and if I remember, this was simply, there's different setbacks like on city roads, but I don't think that really needs to apply to us anymore, because now that we're different from the city, we're not an area plan commission anymore, we're an advisory plan commission, so just dealing with that. This would be regarding setbacks on the roads. We were going to maintain it the 55 feet from the center line of the road and 30 feet from the rear, but we were going to reduce that down from, I believe, the 30 feet from the sides to the 10 feet from the sides. Obviously, because there's a little bit more there. So that is what we were asking you to consider. And this phase anyway, we'll be back for some more.
And this is just R1?
It's the A1, rural residential.
A, gotcha.
Yes.
Sorry.
And we just want to do what, 25% permeable?
Oh, yes, I think that was
25%.
35%. Yeah, the 35% would have to be, yeah.
So I got a few phone calls today, like I mentioned, and this is nothing against y'all by any means. And so just relaying some questions for people watching at home. Big concern people called me about was flag lots. Now, is there anything that you have to say about flag lots or potential flag lots, or like people stacking up behind each other, or the road frontage issues, stuff like that?
Well, I think that's something we will have to discuss, but there's gonna have to be road front. Right now, there's still
Yeah.
road frontage requirements, so that's not like somebody can go back behind somebody, because they're still gonna meet the requirement of the road frontage. It's gotta be just the road frontage.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was just a question they asked.
Right, exactly, so, yes.
And then with these pending changes or requests for change, have y'all received any requests for subdivisions or additional house buildings or groups, condos or whatever already that's pending?
We have one, I think the most recent one we did approve, it was technically a subdivision, but they were going to go with the two acres. It's going that plat. They went first stage. I mean, they still have to do, that person has to go on and do other state and all that of that matter. But it got through at least as far as we go. We approved that subdivision.
Yeah, there's nothing pending now.
Right, correct. But we don't have anything right now, as far as I know. Let's see, we don't have anything that's coming in, yes.
All right, cool. And those were the two outstanding questions. Infrastructure and stuff comes with time, and then people moving in, stuff like that.
Right, yeah, and everybody's still gonna have to understand that they're still gonna have to meet the requirements of everything,
Of course.
runoffs and things like that. We're just making it a little bit easier for people, I think, to affordability and things of that nature. I think other concerns, we have that a lot that come, and of course, we wanna hear those concerns, but those are other agencies that kind of take care of that, and everything will have to accept the septic will still have to be. If they come in and say the septic is gonna work on this 1 acre lot, you're gonna need more, then they're gonna have to get more. They're just, we can't say, no, the ordinance says 1 acre, make it work. No, we can't do that.
It's a good point, Carla, because, some 1 acre lots, and there could be some out there that, there could be some risk with the drainage, right?
Okay.
So, it may not qualify, right?
Exactly. Like I said, people need to do their due diligence when they're doing it, and not just rely on it. Well, they said it's 1 acre and that's what we can do. They need to do their due diligence and.
Yes, yeah. So before they were to, say, hey, I bought 1 acre and I'm gonna start building right away and such, they may want to investigate that early on.
Exactly, yes.
Before they find out,
Right, yeah,
this don't
before you
work.
got in too deep, and then there's things that,
And, that's all got to do with, our water tables and such, that I know our folks out there at the health department look at. So anyway, for folks watching, it's just not a one size fits all.
Exactly.
You could have a unique acre that doesn't work with the septic
Correct.
that you're trying to put there. So anyway, so that's all I've got on it.
And I've got one more thing, I'm sorry. Is there a pending timeline that this needs to be approved? Since we just received it, or I received an email a couple hours ago, I
no.
don't feel like moving action on it tonight. I want to research a little bit more, get more
Exactly,
input.
yeah, no, there's not any specific timeline that we have necessarily put on that. Like I said, we don't have anything coming up that
Okay.
really, moved us to do this right now. It's just something we've actually been talking about for a while. And it's kind of
talked
been
about
a good thing.
for a long time.
Yes,
And-
and,
Would you consider this because I saw that there was reference to advisory members participating in an affirmative vote in favor of the ordinance?
yes, yes.
So would you consider that consistent with the proposal sections of the statute? So we do have 90 days to act.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
and that's,
So to answer your question,
Yes, thank you.
what I would suggest is that you table the issue for tonight with the understanding that we will publish our intention to consider the proposal at whatever meeting you all choose within the next 90 days, and schedule that for a public hearing. I would suggest, consistent with the memo's request, to actually advertise for a public hearing on the ordinance amendment. And then I think that we could also theoretically have ordinance language drafted with the language that's in here that you all voted on, and that would be sufficient. I think the only thing that's required to approve it is that both boards agree on what the language is.
Okay, I can type something up there
Yeah.
for you.
That's fine. Well, I just mean if you
Yeah.
guys make changes at
Oh,
the
yeah.
next meeting, we actually have to send it back
I,
to the
yeah, that's
advisory
what
board.
I wasn't saying, if you make changes to it, yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be interested in putting it off any more than.
Actually, no,
Probably
this is an
not.
advisory board. We don't have to send it back. We can just amend it.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, it's all changed. I kind of forget in my head that we're not area planning
Yeah, we're
anymore.
not area
We're
plan, so I
advisory.
don't think, I think it would just stay with us. So we
Yeah.
have the right to amend the proposal as submitted at that meeting. But I would go ahead and pick a date today, right, to consider the proposal and ask Jennifer to advertise for that date.
Next meeting?
I'm good with next meeting. I just want a little time to review it and ask questions, poke around. So I'd be good by next meeting.
Keep in mind, we're the only county that has this in place.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree. It's just, I've received so many phone
Pretty
calls.
much literally, yes.
Yeah, no, meaning that I just got this 4 hours ago. I just want to look over and ask questions,
Yeah.
We only have to advertise within 48 hours, but I would just go ahead and do it like
So
tomorrow.
we can send this, do you need it to send to the paper to be
Yes.
advertised?
Yeah.
Okay. We can send it Friday.
We have to let them know that we're gonna have a public hearing on it. I'm just saying, let's go ahead and get it out there.
Okay.
And regardless, we couldn't vote on it tonight. We have to have a public.
We do have to have, we have to
Yeah,
notice
I
our
believe that's a
intention
yes,
to vote on the proposal consistent with the Public Records Act.
Thanks for bringing it in.
How long will it have to be advertised? Because if I send it out today or tomorrow,
Yeah.
it'll come out the 13th. Your next meeting is the 20th.
Okay. What if we put it on the first meeting for next month?
September.
That's fine.
And advertise it at least 10 days in advance of the hearing.
Okay.
We've waited how many years? A few more weeks won't hurt.
Well, that's of course another, definitely not on the agenda, but we've got to get on this comprehensive plan.
The reading.
Well,
I know we have to decide whether we're just gonna do that as a commissioner, if we're gonna try to appropriate any funds to get that, someone to do it.
Have
but
somebody
it-
else come in and look at
Yeah.
what their professional.
Yes, that's who did it the
That's
last time, so
also
it was
probably-
2001, well, I think they started it in 2000, but I think it finally was presented and voted on or approved in 2001, so, yeah, it's 24 years.
Wow.
All right, I guess we're on table it.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
thank you. Thank you. Do we need? Well, you make a motion, Bill, or a motion table?
Yeah.
And advertise.
Then I'll make it unanimous. All right, so
So at that public hearing, are we allowed to come and speak?
Yeah, we're gonna
Talk at that?
have a, like a sign-up sheet. I think we've done it a couple of times for like specific
Yeah.
properties where
Zoning
we're,
changes.
yeah, zoning changes for properties. It'll be consistent with that kind of format. With the exception of, there's not gonna be like a, somebody specifically asking for something other than what's described.
So you
in
actually
this.
make a vote that night, you'll listen to what the public says before you make a vote.
Correct, yes.
That's good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
all right, next item on the agenda, we're gonna go back to the transfer station compactor and scales. And while we're on this subject, one thing I would like to add into this is I would like to suggest that we give James Carey $1 an hour raise, because he's leaving his home every day to open up for Austin to get rid of their trash. And also, we need to have somebody,
Is this a salaried employee, like a,
I'm requesting one, yes.
we'll have to ask the council to change the salary ordinance.
Right. Do we not have to vote on that, ask whether or not we were
Yeah, you can vote to send
to
it to the
give
council.
to give James a
I'm just-
raise
I'm
and
just
then
fine.
go to the council?
Your vote on whether to give it to him or not has no legal effect unless the council decides to approve it.
I understand.
Yeah.
What I'm asking.
Yeah.
I think that we should discuss amongst ourselves whether or not we should do that for James and then
Understood.
pass it on to
You can do
the
that.
council.
Yeah.
Right?
I certainly support that.
Because I would like James to be, we need somebody out there, one person in charge. Right now, there's nobody in charge. It's the Wild West.
No, I agree.
We need a
And
go-to.
So I would like to, if you guys are all right with it, to move that to the council for $1 increase to James.
I'm all for raises and stuff. I know the council has typically set a precedent throughout the center of the year not to give raises or change
Yeah.
pay scales or whatnot. I'm all for raises, and I agree with you that there needs to be some kind of chain of command and whatnot. And
Because there's a lot of IDM rules and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
somebody needs to be responsible for it.
And with that precedent that the council set, and maybe they can budget for it if it's not at this point in time. But I do agree that there needs to be a hierarchy and supervision. So
Okay.
Question for you on that. So are you want to give a position a raise, or do you want to make him a supervisory position?
We want to make him a supervisor and give him $1 increase in hour.
Send something to
Change the,
change a job description and make a supervisor.
yeah, we could do that.
That would probably make more sense, then you're not setting a pay rate for whoever's in like that same position. It would be a supervisor there to give you your hierarchy or your grid out there.
That makes sense.
because, yeah, we still need to go through like in all the positions.
So is everybody cool with basically sending a request for a redraft or some changes to that position with Wagner, Irwin, Chili? They'll give us the job description. In the meantime, once we get the job description, I mean, essentially you've already voted to send it to the council. So as long as we approve the job description, they can go directly to them for the salary increase request.
Okay.
But anyway, just because there's so many rules out there for IDM,
No, I'm
we,
not disagreeing with you, I'm just saying, I think.
Oh, I know
it'd be
you.
Cleaner to
I'm just-
give you a person in a position.
Make it more legal.
Well, we need, yeah, that would be
Checks
better.
and balances.
That's a good plan.
okay, so that's one. So we're still waiting. I've got all signs up. I've addressed everything that IDM has said that they want, except for a new work procedure written out. Only reason I've been waiting on that is because we want to get everything up and going and write it while we're doing it. So we're writing down exactly what we're doing. We're not writing down something that's not going to be happening. And then did you have an announcement or anything you want to make on the compactor?
Have we got the check from,
Yes,
we did receive it?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, so, Morgan Foods donated $60,000 for a new compactor for the transfer station. And so we appreciate their generosity.
Absolutely.
And we thank John Morgan for partnering with us and trying to meet our needs and our shortcomings. So we certainly appreciate that. And so the goal is I had 2 active compactors working. Both of those compactors were installed in the 80s, and so their life cycles have been gone for a number of years. None of Kevin's been tired of working and patching on them, and Randy has too over the years. So they've outlived their life, and so we were able to replace one with ARPA money, which was really a have-to situation. And now we've been blessed by Morgan's to be able to replace the other one. So we'll have 2 new compactors out there working, and that not only benefits us as a county overall, because we are taking Austin's trash, and so there was a big need for making sure that we're operating and compacting that trash to, for potential savings there. So thanks to Morgan's, and that gives you the green light to go ahead and touch base with those folks and the vendor to get them scheduled.
All right, I'll do that. And only thing that we are waiting on at this point is Clark County RMC to put up a transformer. Brett Gillers is the scale company. They was there today. I was with them all day. They went ahead. We are certified. They hooked the scales up on a generator, and we are certified. Everything's ready to go. We just need that transformer connected. So that's where we're at with that. Any questions? Okay. So the next item on the agenda is satellite trash operations plan, equipment quotes, and bank financing. So I think we need to probably vote first whether or not how we're going to go with these satellites. Are we going to close down the satellites, or are we going to keep the satellites open and purchase equipment and keep it in-house? My opinion is one thing is we're out of money in the correct out in the satellite lines.
Let me clarify. On your budget, there's still money that was budgeted there, but with the funds that have come in, our costs have surpassed what's been brought in on the stickers. So
we cannot afford to keep paying a contract for the satellites. That's me. Unless you guys have decided that we're just going to keep paying for the service. Then our other option is that we buy the equipment, we keep it in-house. That way we can control the prices. We can charge the amount we need to keep that service going. And we can get away from being fined at these satellite locations, because we're now taking it in-house instead of working through another party. Because essentially our permit's on the line also whenever we have another contractor. So what do you guys want to do?
It's a tough deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
Guys, do you mind if I speak on this for just a second from a council standpoint, or from a councilman's standpoint?
sure.
well, hold on a minute. You guys go. You here. Go ahead, Joe.
We bought them scales. We allowed you guys to buy them scales under the understanding that once the scales was in, the satellite programs were going away. We do not have the money to keep funding that program out there. And I believe the budget is going to look very, very different this year. I think we're going to be making some cuts to some programs, and we have to decide what programs we're going to be cutting. And to me, we have thought this, landfill problem for years. To keep the satellites going is cost, that's where we're losing all the money on the transfer station, is in the satellite sites. Now, nobody wants to see us lose programs, but it's very much looking like we're going to. And, I don't believe the funding's gonna be there to keep them going. And you're talking about buying new, compactor trucks, hiring extra employees. You know, we're looking to taking out a bond just to keep county government going. So at some point, we're gonna have to start doing the, responsible thing and start cutting some stuff. And I believe this is an easy one. Not that it's easy, but, that's just my opinion on it.
Did you by chance reach out to IDEM and ask about permitting or for the satellite sites by chance?
I have not had a specific discussion with them about,
Couldn't remember if we had that discussion or we,
no.
okay.
So-
Not about the satellite
I remember
locations. I mean, we've had a lot of discussions about permitting for the transfer station, and
I thought like contractors, if we could like sublet or, like take the fines off us onto the contractors or stuff like that. That way we still have oversight.
I have not had any specific discussions with anybody at IDEM about that particular issue. The only thing I've had discussions about is site inspection, noticed violations.
Yeah.
And processes for requesting minor and major modifications to our permit but only for the transfer station.
So, currently we have a contract.
Well, no, we're out of
We're
contract.
operating, we're still paying under no
Yes, yes,
contract.
we're paying out.
So, I believe the pictures that you had up there, we do have kind of a plan to get a truck equipped to haul trash. Which I think by the time we do all that, we would be under the amount that we're paying out for a year. And I understand what you're saying, Johnny. I agree. But, when you sit out there and you see the number of people that come in and out of there, I mean, it's a lot.
It is.
We take in a lot of trash.
I tried to stay out there one evening, to just, to look it over. And I don't visit these sites. I pay for my trash service.
I do, sir.
But I can tell you, I was there for 1 hour, and within 1 hour, there was 30 people. And that was at Finley.
And a lot of seniors.
A lot of seniors. To try to give you numbers.
The other concern, which is a concern, I mean, we live in an area now where, I've had to sit in here before and ask people to please quit throwing trash on our roads. And so we battle that now. What's the snowball effect with that when we take those sites away? Kevin knows I was it this morning or yesterday morning, I'd reached out to him about talking about signs. I don't know, last few days, I mean, we've had everything from couches to whatever thrown out in different places.
Kind of the same area, though.
Yeah.
Collins Road is one I saw this morning or Saturday.
Yeah. And West Lake Road thing getting done.
And thank you for picking up trash last week or whenever it was.
Yeah, so we're nothing got.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're thanking him picking up trash. We're going to continue to do that potentially. And I don't know how, if that gets worse or not. You'd almost assume it probably will. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I mean, I agree with what Johnny's saying, but I mean, I'm just trying to look at every possible alternative way to try to keep these sites going as much as we can.
Yeah.
I think we can reduce what it's costing us. There's some startup. I mean, there's no question about that. There'll be some startup money to.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
With that, I have done some investigations, and what it would look like, what we could do. Okay. We could keep it in-house. We can charge people, by weight with a portable scale. I'm sorry, I don't have a picture of the portable scale. It would be a legal, what they call a crane scale, which it just hangs from a hook. You can put a basket in there, you zero it out, you set your bag on it, you get your weight, and you throw your bag into the hopper. In order to not, because you have a lot of people coming through there, and it moves fast. It would probably look something like from 0 to 15 pounds would be $1. From 15 to 30 would be $2, type deal. I'm not saying right now that's your cost. I'm saying that's how you would get around the charge of it, right? Would that be just a little bit more than what we'd be charging at the transfer station? Yes, it would. But you're also paying for an employee to sit out there. You're paying for a vehicle. You're paying for a compactor. And those costs has to be recouped somehow. We have this vehicle here that Kevin took off the auction for us. It's got 32,000 miles, I believe. We got through the LISO program. It's got a lift gate on the back, and it's got a, we'll have to beef up the hitch because the truck wasn't designed with a hitch. It was, somebody got one on there, but it's an afterthought. So we could use that truck to pull a trailer and put our recyclables inside this truck at each satellite location. And that truck's free of charge. So here is a trailer. There's not companies out there who makes this. This is just one company, okay? And we're looking at $42,000 for a base one. We would need to have the, it's too far away for me to see, but is that the
Cart tipper?
cart tipper? Okay, for $6,500. So we're looking at $48,500. Reason I would want the cart tipper is because you'd put a cart right here on that. You'd put a bag in it, push a button, and it would flip up and throw it in there, because right in here is where the trash goes. The trouble with trash is people throw needles, they throw all kinds of stuff in them bags. So I don't want an employee out there putting that bag up against their body to throw it in that hopper. That, and you don't want somebody hurting their back, so on and so forth. So you would just put a, trash can, Rubbermaid trash can, whatever, hook it on there, strap it on, and push that button, just let it cycle. but that's $48,500. It takes 3 months to get this trailer from the time that we order it. And then we would have to have a full-time employee, and that full-time employee would, on their nights for the satellites, they'd be working with the satellites, and anytime they get the rest of their 40 hours, they would be out at the transfer station. So the transfer station essentially is going to have 2 part-time people and 1 full-time person, anyways, for the scales, because you're going to have a guy who operates the scales, and you're going to have somebody up there on the hill, because IDM has made it clear that they do not want people pushing buttons, compacting trash. That's one of the issues they've got with our satellites, is because nobody was out there operating the compactors, and we had people going out there after hours operating the compactors. So if we keep it in-house, that's the only way I see it working.
Can I finish my thought from a while ago?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You didn't. The way this was presented to the council, you guys let us buy these scales. We're gonna close these satellite sites down when the scales are up and working.
Did I state that?
That's the way it was presented to the council when Randy come over and presented all this.
Well, it's what we had talked about, yes.
It's what you guys had talked about. I've watched the video time after time. Nobody ever called nobody and said, Randy's talking for himself. Not all of us. So we jumped in there, we let you buy the scales. Guys, we're out of money. This is the simple fact of the matter. We're out of money. You know, we've tried now for 4 years to keep the transfer station open. I don't see any way the transfer station is going to survive if we keep trying, throwing more money. We're out of money to throw down the rabbit holes. There's another $48,000. We're up to hiring 2 more people by the time the night's out. I don't believe you're gonna get the support. I have talked to everybody on the council about this. I don't see creating 2 more jobs when we don't have the money. We're looking at borrowing money, for God's sakes, just to get the county through the year. It ain't that I don't want that garbage truck.
Yeah.
It's that we simply don't have the money.
As Richie would say, need versus want.
We're gonna have to make some tough decisions this year. We're looking at trash site closures, or like paramedicine programs closing down. We're gonna have to make tough choices this year. And this is what us trying to work with the commissioners look like. We're trying real hard to work with you. It's real hard. And I'm speaking for myself here, not all of us. We're trying real hard to work with you. But we gotta have some help from you guys too. We're in budget shortfalls everywhere we look. And people think we're just blowing smoke up them when we're broke. And when you're looking at borrowing money just to get through the year versus the low-hanging fruit,
You're not wrong.
guys, we've got to make these tough choices. And we need your help to make them.
When's your budget meetings?
Starting,
April 15th August 15th and 16th are the first.
Okay.
and it's
Let's
not
just-
looking good.
let's
Kevin,
just table this.
if
until
he's
they
not
can
lucky,
look
we're
at
gonna
it.
end up with Scott County mowing
I need to
crews.
get this out there.
You know, we're not gonna have the money to maintain the roads with
Say that we're not-
the way it's looking right now.
Yeah.
And until we get into them budget years and see what dimes we can take from here and there, we don't have the money for this. It's that simple.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news,
No.
guys, but that's just the way it
You're
is.
speaking facts.
I've been listening, I've been thinking about this for a while, listening, the council meeting, commissioners meeting, and I would like to know, was all of this not considered when you presented your ROI for this project? We keep bringing in, we need this, we need this. If you have a project, you needed to submit, this is our return on investment, and this is what I think it's gonna be. Now, we don't have that. How can you make decisions if you don't have that? And I've been hearing, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking, we were gonna close the satellites. Now, I know that will affect some people. I pay for our pickup, rarely do I go out there, but it's there at the landfill if I need it. So, it's not that I want people to leave services, but how can you keep them open and expect people to use the landfill more when I can just go down the road on my way to work and drop off a couple bags, and I'm done for the day? I don't know how that could be, and that would be I'd like to see a return on investment project for this. Was it done? Was it submitted? Did everybody get a look at it? And then the scales that you're gonna be adding, it's not a matter of just hanging them up and zeroing. They have to be calibrated, and they have to be calibrated ever so often, because I think this falls under commerce maybe. So it's not just, let's do this and let's do this. This is a pit. You have created a pit, and I'm not sure how you're gonna get out of it.
Well, I'd like to address that. Right now, we're spending $177,000 a year. Before I came into office, where was we at, John? We was over $200,000 a year.
260.
We have been dwindling this down. So, and how this works is we have the sticker program. In the sticker program, people buy stickers. All the money from that stickers, except for $5,000, pays a contractor to collect trash. Then the transfer station pays for that trash to get rid of it. That's how it's always been. So when you say, I'm sorry, I find it's a little misleading saying we have created something. This has been going on for over 20 years.
Putting the money into this updating out there has become a pit. I don't think there's anybody in the county that would argue that point.
Okay.
Not that it was intentional, but we have got pits.
Okay, so we're throwing away $177,000 a year to keep it open. The scales cost us $60,000 to pay for.
So what is your return on investment report?
Trash is also a service.
It's not going to cost the county anything.
That's not what an ROI is.
Are you talking about the return of investment? Okay,
And
so I
we
do
know
know
it's a loser, it always has been. Okay, we know what comes in, we know the numbers, we've talked about it, we've had meetings in here about it. But we know at the end of the day, it's gonna be in the red. I mean,
and
So how long
A
will it be red?
a return
it
of
may always stay in
investment
the red.
is you're wanting to know how much the county will make off this. We don't want to make nothing.
Well,
The whole point of putting these scales in is to have a trash program that doesn't cost anybody anything more than it costs us to get rid of it.
I believe in Randy's vision that he sold to the council. I believe every word that what he said. If we do this, we close these sites, we're at least giving our people the option of a place to take their trash to. We're not trying to make money. He made that perfectly clear. I don't believe he misguided the council whatsoever. He's got the transfer station to where he told us he was gonna get it to. The problem is now we need to follow through with closing the 3 satellite sites. Let people bring their trash down there where we at least stand a chance of keeping the transfer station alive. Because guys, if it takes money out of the county to keep that going, it's going away. And I believe Randy's plan will keep that transfer station going. I truly believe that, or I'd never voted to off the scales.
And
And that may be exactly where we're at. That's why we're,
I mean,
It might be, yeah.
guys, there's,
The only hiccup is the transfer stations, or the satellite sites.
there is a reason that every trash place that we go to, every county, every place around us has a set of scales. There is a reason, and that's the reason is because it works.
I believe your plan will do exactly what you said your plan will do. We just have to follow through and get it to that point.
yeah, I mean, the trash, it's been a good service and it's been a luxury. And we've been able to provide that. I mean, most cities, when you move into, I mean, they're gonna give you Rumpke's number, and if you wanna,
We're to the point we just can't do it no more, guys.
so, you know, I mean, I understand that.
Across the street, that's got us to the point, you know, we have no reserves, guys. None. And we're fixing to borrow a whole bunch of money just to keep things going. And I am not personally on the council, I can't speak for these guys. I'm done throwing money down rabbit holes, and that's what this is. You know, I've got friends that use these satellite sites. I've got family that use them religiously. They're just gonna have to get used to the change. We're gonna have to take our trash to one location where we're at least still offering them a place to get rid of it. They don't have to take it out in the bottoms and throw it out. We've got a place to take it to.
Put that on your sign.
Yeah, correct.
So let me make,
I'll shut up.
you're,
August 15th and 16th.
So-
And I would encourage all 3 of you to come over and sit and watch us.
Right.
We work ourselves to death counting pencils. We don't give nobody a pencil if we think we can stop from giving it to them. And we've got shortfalls.
so I'm gonna finish off by saying, if we go this route, I did reach out to a bank and I talked to them about financing. Just so we know what we're talking about, know what we're looking at. The bank came back with an 84-month term, annual payments, so one time a year. They have approximately $9,400. That payment would be at 8.14%, 8.14%. And that's run as a non-bank qualified tax exempt transaction. And there would be a $600 doc fee paid to do that.
And where's that money coming from?
That's if we borrowed money from the bank to pay for
We have to pay it back, so it's not free.
it. It's what?
It is costing us.
Like she's asking, where would we pay the payment?
No, you said it's not gonna cost us anything. Yes, it is. It's costing. It's
I
costing.
think your question was, how would he pay the payment to the bank?
Now, who's gonna pay?
Or-
Yeah. Well, okay. How you would, it would be figured into the cost of getting rid of the trash. So whenever you weigh your trash, the cost of whatever, we're gonna charge is gonna have to make the payment for this.
I want to say that it's not a county employee, but property owner in Scott County. There's at least 4 companies that pick up trash, so the county does see Sweetland, Rumpke, Best Way. and there's another one, Scotty, I see every once in a while, smaller trucks.
Mhm.
So it's not a monopoly, it's competitive bids, competitive pricing for people to switch around. I mean, if you go through town of Lexington, now you're gonna see several people actually in the town that's within a block of the transfer station that have dumpsters and trash cans for refuse people. Just, I don't know that you want that. I know there's our guys already in business that do this. I'm not sure what the county wants to go in business. That's just my opinion.
You're saying you contract it out?
I'm saying you go to the transfer station or you call Rumpke or one of the other three companies and, they'll come bring you a can and you just take it to the end of your driveway.
Yeah, I pay about, what, $20 a month.
Yeah,
I think what, again, I do not use these. I wholeheartedly think the best thing to do for the county, it's not going to be a popular thing. It's just like when you're a parent and you got kids, the popular vote ain't always going to be what everybody wants to, or how I want to say that, sometimes the right answer is not the easiest one. But my opinion is the county would be better off to close these. But I think the problem is that we do have, and this is my only hiccup, is we do have elderly people who only has one bag a week, and they do recycle. So for them to have Rumpke, and Kevin, you ain't wrong. I have Best Way. They come to mind. But for them to have a whole can, big can, which I think is their cheapest trash service, is a waste of money for them when they can just go to the satellite and just take their one bag and throw it away.
I guess with that, Randy, talking not as council, but as just a citizen of the county, if that same group of people wanted their driveway shoveled when it snows, we don't get the business of doing that. And, I don't know that we can jump in the trash business to take care of, you said you were there an hour, 30 people came. I'm a numbers guy, so if that's open 2 hours, 3 sites a week, we're talking 200 people out of 24,000. Now, if we employ a full-time employee, 24,000 people are paying their salary to be sitting out there, whether you use that service or not, for 200 people.
Could the county maybe consider still having a recycle? You can set up a recycle center because that doesn't cost. If you set a trailer out somewhere where you just took the plastics and the newspaper and then.
I wish we could, but my problem is I'm afraid that you're going to just have people throw trash in there.
Exactly, and then IDM will be back out there.
Yeah.
No, we have that out at the transfer station.
Yes, you can recycle out there.
Take their bag of trash out to the transfer station, they can still take their recyclables.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We've got appropriate bins for them out there.
I think there's companies that have like the dumpsters, there's one in Henryville, have the different doors that you put recyclables in.
But,
Maybe we could check into something like that.
well,
We're either in or we're out.
it's just-
Well,
Now you're back in trash.
And here,
No, I'm not saying us, I'm saying like a contractor who provides those, because I don't think Henderson does. They obviously provide the area for that dumpster to sit, and it does recycling, so maybe there's some options for recycling.
well, I think recycling
We
is
have
not an issue because if we wanted to just recycle, so we could not do satellite trash, but we could do satellite recycling. We could just take that truck out there and pick up the recyclables.
Let's just get out of it. While the getting's good, guys, let's get out of it. If people wants to bring their recyclables out to the transfer station, throw them in the appropriate gailer, we can get rid of it for them, and they don't have to pay to get rid of the recyclables. And we've got to move on from this because we've got way bigger fish to fry this year. I don't know, this is not going to be popular. there's not a person in this room going to win a vote by closing these down. But it might keep our government afloat and have to borrow just a little less money. You know, I'm here purely as a numbers guy. That's all I am. You know, this decision falls on you three. I know where Randy's at with it. Randy's ready to close them down.
Not because I want to, it's just, it's what makes financial sense to me.
None of us.
It's not,
I don't think anybody wants to take any service away out. But at some point, I don't know if we can afford all the services we provide in this county.
I think there's gonna be some major cutting this year, guys.
Let's look at this at budget.
Yeah. I'll definitely be there at budget, see, okay, what we need to sit down and see what we need to make we're having those hard talks, right?
Well, we used all the money that the commissioners had readily available, you know, your little funds that you would normally, put the awning on the building across the street with. We just used all that money to buy these scales. And you don't get the option to spend it twice.
Yeah.
You know, that money's gone. And I don't know where anybody thinks we're gonna dig up, might as well say 20 grand to put awnings on. You know, we might be a couple of us go over and take the frames down. But right now, I just don't know where the money's coming from. And nobody's even able to give us really good answers to this yet. And it ain't been because we haven't been trying. But I'll shut up now.
so
You're all fault.
what do you want to do?
Since the scales aren't operational as of yet, and we don't have a metric for what's coming in to see what the costs in and out. I agree, we're gonna probably have to make some cuts. It might be very unpopular. We might have to cut this, which I don't want to do.
I don't think nobody wants to.
Yeah, and I get calls all the time. But I want to sit down at budget time, look over every possible avenue. And then maybe even talk to some people like trash services, like we had that guy come in here the other day. What are people that are in that field? What do they see? What are some options? And
Adam, just stand back, just get out of the way, let the market. If there's money for somebody to make doing these trash sites,
yeah,
somebody's gonna pop up and go out there and do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Let the market fix the market.
Okay.
No, I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I agree. We should kind of hold off, let the council look at the numbers and go from there.
Yes, there's just a lot of unanswered metrics
Yeah.
at this time.
So does it run, it's still, like, you guys have enough to suffice right now, or what happens?
It's out of money right now.
That's what I thought Jennifer was saying, so I guess what happens in the meantime is we got a month probably at least of talking about budget stuff.
Yeah,
Or do we-
and I don't think it's,
I think it's gonna come down to whether or not you guys want budget.
Any day to put the transformer in.
I think we're 6,000
Any
under
day.
now.
They're
Okay.
looking for it.
I think $6,000.
Then they're up and running.
I mean,
That buys us a month or
That's just
so.
through this month, I mean.
Okay, $12,000, right? So it's $12,000 to operate for a couple of months until we can get through the budget.
I think in the grand scheme, that's minuscule to not take your service away right now.
Yeah.
And let's all put our heads together and make sure we're making the best possible choice we can.
That's right, because we want to be able to, also let folks know, if that's what it comes to, that they have time to make plans for
No, I agree with that.
accommodating their trash needs,
And
right? So
that's why, the only reason I asked it, I don't want you guys to make a decision tonight based on us, and then next week we don't have anybody out there, and you got a bunch of people screaming mad at you, because I think we ought to at least give them a time and fashion that we're gonna enact whatever plan, but there's 10 people that are elected to make decisions, either financial or executive,
Decisions.
and I
Yeah,
think we all need to put our minds together and come up with the best possible option here.
Because again, keep in mind, there's I mean, we've got a ton of people using these signs, right? So, I mean,
It's not fair to them to
Forty.
just pull the plug and all try to figure it out.
I'm ready to table this.
you got anything, John? I know we've heard
No,
from
I
you.
was just gonna say, these people, and I agree with you, they've got so used to this, it's, like I said, it's service. But they got 1 day a week. If you do a trash hauler, you're just gonna do 1 day a week. And an elderly person, that'd be better for them, because they don't even have to, they just gotta take it out to the front yard and drop it off, and some garbage person will pick it up. It might cost them more.
It certainly will, because
Be the beef.
they're only coming out, a lot of times, a lot of the elderly, or the seniors, I would say, may have one bag, right, and some recyclables.
And I think this has nothing to do with it, but I think there's a little bit of a community, everybody meets at these places.
Yeah.
And they chat and they talk, and that's nice, but it doesn't solve our financial problems.
No.
And I think for people get once a week from a trash person, those people are coming to Findlay and Austin with places. They're responsible people. They are trying to do the right thing. And those people, I think, will do the right thing with the garbage haulers come and pick their stuff up too.
Yeah.
You'll have some, you have them already with all these services. You got services all over the county, people take their trash, they're still dumping them along the road.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of options, and I think you're, that's a good point. I think let some haulers get involved and let them bid, they can bid for it. We don't have to open it up to everybody. You guys can contract out the hauler if you want to. Or we can open it up, like you say, let the market work. And maybe the market up there, people will go for the lowest price. But this is a community thing, and it is, people love it, but you're right, Donnie, we're running out of money.
Yeah.
If we haven't got no money, we ain't gonna keep it open. I don't know how we can do it. And she's right, what's the return on investment? It ain't, it's going downhill, it ain't going uphill. So we're not gonna bail ourselves out of this, what we're doing. I think we have a very hard decision to make, and I think it might be the right decision in the long run.
Well, either way, I know when I came into office, the budget for the transfer station was completely cut. I mean, how you remember that, Randy? And I don't think that's fair of our board to do that to you guys. And I think it's much better for the citizens to see that we all sit down and we either come to the agreement, that's what we have to do, whether we like it or not, or maybe somebody throws an idea out that will work and we can stomach the cost.
Well, we know it wouldn't be popular. I mean, you guys had a public hearing. I mean, there was nobody in there with a sign that says,
Take it away.
close them down. I mean, everybody, yeah. right. And so we know it's not a popular,
It's just not gonna be a
Topic,
win for us, but it will be a win, I think, financially.
Well, if you're charging people at the landfill, when they bring stuff out there, you're charging them just enough to get rid of it without it costing us. And then you're charging the people at the transfer sites just exactly enough, well, actually it's even fell short of just being able to pay the contract to get it to the landfill. So now the people that's paying at the landfills also having to cover the cost of getting rid of everything that comes in from the satellite sites. Well, the way it is, if they bring it to the transfer station, they pay the appropriate amount, whatever it is. We get rid of it, we're not losing anything. And the guy's dumping it out there is not paying to get rid of the guy at the road's trash. It works, Randy's number, and there ain't no two in this county ever fought no more than Randy Julian. Randy's right about this.
Well, you're right about that.
Most everybody in this room has been doing all these little classes and seminars and, trying to figure out where we're gonna be on funding. And at the end of the day, we're gonna be short. That's the only answer we've got that's been solid is we're gonna be short. We've gotta make cuts where we can make cuts. We cannot borrow off of my grandkids to keep up our lifestyle. I refuse to do that.
You brought up something earlier, which I totally agree on. Me, I've been waiting on you guys to make a decision, we're gonna keep them or not keep them. That's why I haven't been voting for some of this stuff. If we're just gonna have a landfill, let's have a landfill. If not, we're gonna do it all. Then we'll have a better idea if we wanna fund something or not.
Makes sense.
I think we got a plan now. I mean, and I agree with you, John. I mean, I agree with everybody.
I think everybody agrees at this.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, yeah, let's run the numbers and
None
look
of
at it.
us want to have this
So-
conversation. None of us want to have this.
Sure, it's
conversation.
not.
At least we can, I think, agree tonight though, that if we're gonna keep this thing, that we can't afford to keep it as a service. It has to pay for itself, correct? Do we all feel that way?
Till everybody comes in screaming at us. Yes, you're right.
Would you agree with that? That we can't afford to just keep paying out for it being a service?
I agree.
Okay, so, all right. So we're gonna, let's table this for now.
I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous and we'll bring it up, Jennifer meeting on, what is that, 18th?
Are you talking about in
What's-
September?
When's our next
After-
meeting?
The next one is on the 20th.
20th.
Do you want that then, or do you want to wait till after the budget hearings? I mean, we'll have the preliminary one.
We can,
Let them look at it.
Do we need to advertise?
Just make
Let's
sure
do that.
we're having.
Let's wait.
We're covering all the bases.
When's the budget?
If you want to have a joint like budget workshop, you could advertise your meeting for the same location that they are having their meeting in.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we can legally sit in there and help and like, or have a conversation, be a fly on the wall, you know, stuff like that.
If you want to do that on a specific date, I would just
15 to 16.
My goal would be to put it off until.
Just in case we can come and go or whatever, just that way we're not.
yeah,
violating
later
anything.
this month.
And
And
then,
then have it.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. I just want to make sure we do it
I don't
right.
think we need to. No, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, I always go in there and hang out, try to raise board.
Oh, I don't think we need to do that.
So, all right, so when's the budget, when, after the budget is our meeting?
Do you have one September the 3rd?
I will not be here on September the 3rd. I will be out of the country. So,
Kevin, did you get this, the old couch out on Collins Road, did you get that? Or is it still out there?
September 3rd, September 17th.
Because I got,
Which
Their
I
budget
just,
will be over.
the folks that are watching this, I just got a text about the couch.
Colin
I
Road?
see two pictures of two different couches today.
September
I
3rd,
actually
September,
one over a bridge about 20 foot down. I figured out how to get-
Which couch, yeah?
by then that'll be done with.
I think we'll make a record.
I got a
Think you'll be
text
done with
about
budget
the
by
one at West
September
Coolers
17th?
Farm and then.
I'll travel to Cameron and find it.
Yeah, I send those to him every day and I get them, so.
That's all that needs. I'll check it out.
Do you
But I
want the
hadn't said
3rd?
anything about the
September
other.
3rd or September
Oh,
17th?
yeah, Kevin Brooks.
Or 17th.
17.
Okay. Well, the guys like to pick them up the escalator, they said they got bed bugs, so.
Okay.
All right.
Is that why somebody asked me, the guy, is it leather?
They're gonna get it quick.
So we have a commissioner meeting on October 1st.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we're gonna, are you all right with table until the 17th
Yes.
of September?
Oh, tabling the satellite stuff?
The satellite,
Sure.
because I think we do it the 3rd, they don't have time to really.
Okay, yeah, then I'm good with that.
You're fine with that too?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you put that on our agenda?
Yeah.
And Greg had a motion, and I believe Adam made a motion to
You have the
table
motion.
this until, and I'll make that unanimous,
September.
17th.
17th. All right, and I'd like to amend the agenda for the Just property.
Okay. Motion.
I'll second that.
I'll make it unanimous. All right.
I am here on behalf of the redevelopment board. And what I had talked to you guys about the transferring of the Just property to the redevelopment board. I would like you fellas to try to get that ball rolling so we can get that done. You know, guys, you're not giving that property to me and Greg. You're giving that property to a board that you guys place, or the commissioners place every year, or two, whatever the term is on it. So you need to put people on them boards that you trust and trust them to do what we do. We're just,
I'm kidding.
I feel like we would be in a much better position as a redevelopment board to be able to make the decisions that we need to make up our, with us having control of the property. So,
Is that the one DC's been working on?
Yes.
Yeah.
To some degree. I mean, yeah.
But the first step in it for you guys would be to transfer ownership of it from the commissioners to redevelop. Zach could probably tell you a little what that would look like, but he's not a real estate lawyer. We would have to get
Both Zeller,
Bo Zellers involved to.
Ross Brown Todd.
But that's what I'd like y'all to consider. Did I forget anything?
No, I mean, I would add to this. I mean, obviously sitting on both boards. Obviously, we're in here talking about funding. The one board that has funding is redevelopment. We don't have a tremendous lot of funding anymore, but we do have enough funding to get something off the ground.
And we've got some huge stuff in the works.
There's a lot of things, and potentially we could change the landscape with a lot of projects down there. And really, it takes that one project to potentially maybe get this whole thing moving, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at now is, maybe a 50 to 60,000 square foot spec building maybe to come in, working with a couple of different groups to get that marketing aspect of it, that has big networks that can reach out across the country and bring people in. When we talk about that particular property, we've got utilities that are available out there on that property. It's a very valuable piece of property in the fact that if we can show anyone that's looking, and the possibilities of that with the infrastructure that we have tied to this piece of property, it's very unique in that fact.
And we've already spent a tremendous amount of money up there finding out what we have.
Well,
It's right next to the interstate. too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the accessibility of this,
Long 31.
when you look down 62, when you look at River Ridge and how spectacular that is, I mean, it's
Logistically,
unbelievable.
we're probably in better shape than they are.
absolutely, you're not running through several, stoplights to get back to the interstate. So from an accessibility standpoint, our infrastructure is probably second to none right there. We're talking about, structuring some type of investment that could lead to, some financial gains for this county for a number of years. So with the number of housing projects that are going in, we've got to figure out ways to try to counter that, which we've talked about the scenarios of hand and glove, both things working together. and the sustainability of these projects. And we want people to come in and the people that are putting up the money and using those risks for these developments, we're also trying to counter that with something positive. So,
Well, the bedroom community is great, but we need some industry.
100%.
keep
Well-
in mind too, we have the industries we have around here. And again, we don't know what that spec building would look like. It could be anything. One of the things that most people look at it anymore is warehousing. But that could, we've got local companies right now here in town that are looking for additional warehousing space that's shipping things to either Jeffersonville or Columbus.
They're already done it. Ranger up there in Jackson County has several places that they're doing it.
Guys, that's my ask.
I'm gonna say that, how long have we had this Just Park? Anybody know?
30 years.
At least 30. And I think we've been very patient, waiting for somebody to come buy our dirt, and they haven't. We've had Tri-Hawk move in. They bought some, but after Tri-Hawk, nobody else was wanting to buy our dirt.
Well, and Tri-Hawk's a very good neighbor to us,
Yeah.
if they want to do expanding, it's not like we're
Keeping them for
we're
purchase.
taking the ground away from them.
100%. Yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is the county does not have the money to invest in that ground in order for that ground to achieve the potential that it was ever purchased for to begin with. And it's going to take somebody, and redevelopment is the only source of income that has the potential to do that. And I hate things just setting and not doing nothing with it. That ground is set for 30 years. It's time for it to start trying to achieve its potential, in my opinion.
And you make a good point, because there's a lot of communities out there right now. They're trying to sell that Field of Dreams aspect too, and it just don't work. We have to have
Yeah.
something tangible out there to say, this is what we have.
Yeah.
And I mean,
if
there's a
somebody
lot
was
of,
going to come in and buy the property, they'd have done it by now.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it's set.
there's a lot of,
It has
yes,
to be.
right, they would. But they're not, they've got that all over the place.
Yeah.
So Johnny makes a good point. We have spent thousands of dollars to get this to a point that's marketable.
And the man hours we put into it, people don't realize the man hours you put in on these boards you just don't realize it.
Well, because you're on the redevelopment board, I'm going to make a motion to go ahead and transfer this property over to the redevelopment.
I would just say, I think that's fine. I would go ahead and basically vote to authorize Bo Zeller, who's already on an outside retainer agreement with the county specifically with this board, to prepare any necessary paperwork to transfer the property and to present that, to this board as soon as possible for confirmation. And then I assume, get transferred to to you guys once those documents were submitted to your board as well, basically accepting.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure what the process.
So basically, I'm saying,
That's why I referred to you.
I moved to
Try to
have a
locate, like
go ahead and draw up paperwork.
Yeah, there's mechanisms for the
You
redevelopment
call Bo
to
tomorrow, can't you?
like acquire property that's not necessarily in the name of the county. In terms of transferring something in the name of the county to redevelopment specifically, I can't find any specific provisions, but again, I think this is more
Bo's wheelhouse.
Bo's wheelhouse. He's worked with the redevelopment commission before on potential purchases and things like that. So I would feel much more comfortable if you guys authorized him to do that.
And for me, I'll second, but also if the land can be used and the county can be improved and it can get jobs in the county, I'm all for it.
That's what we're after.
I hope it happens, and I want Scott County to improve and be better for it. And so,
You know, all this new housing that the two cities is working on so hard, that's not just designed toward trying to keep people that live in Austin and Scottsburg here. That's toward drawing people here. So, you know, maybe we'll have a better workforce and be able to get some of this industry. It's a slow, tedious process. We've been working on this now hard for 2 years.
Well, nothing's happening right now with it, so.
Well, it sure ain't for a lack of trying, is it?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, the way it's setting now, ain't nothing happened in 30 years. So
Well,
something needs to be done.
I'll make that unanimous. So.
Thank
I'll
you,
reach out.
fellas.
Thank you,
That's all I had.
For sticking
Thanks, sir.
around. Appreciate it.
So, next thing on the agenda, or like to amend the agenda to talk about is the veteran service officer, part-time position.
I make a motion.
I'll, second.
All right, thank you. And so an email came out today that Tom is resigning.
All three, I think.
Yeah, we're good.
Nothing. I think I don't
We got out
know,
of
I don't
line.
know who made the motion.
Yeah.
Was it
I
Randy?
made the motion,
Then I third. Okay.
Are you
Okay.
talking about
Second, then
Third.
I'm just trying to count the votes.
to amend the agenda or for?
To amend the agenda
Okay.
with the VSO or
Okay, yeah, VSO and.
VSO part-time.
I'll make it unanimous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hear the
I mean, I heard
originally, so
all
I threw
three
off. Yeah,
say
I
in the
apologize.
affirmative. I
Okay,
just
go
didn't
back
know.
here.
Yeah, I
Because
apologize.
now all of a sudden I'm like, Randy, you made the motion?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Okay.
Gotcha. Now we're on track.
So, we was contacted by Tom, and he's our part-time veteran service officer. And he is resigning. So, I think he gave us
September
about part through September or something,
25th, I think.
25th. So we probably need to go ahead and get that position advertised to replace that position.
We'll get that done this week.
So I'll make a motion to have that advertised. Craig?
I'll second. Yeah.
I'll make unanimous.
And Tom's done a wonderful job, and
He has.
we hate to see him go. So thank you, Tom.
So next item on the agenda is EMA 911 director position. So we have looked at, what we have, 13 people total, or was it 17? How many people did?
I'm not sure how
Apply.
many we really started out with. We ended up interviewing 7. Oh, no, wait a minute. We ended up interviewing, yeah, it was 7. So
Yeah,
it was
we
7.
personally interviewed 7. I
Yes.
think we had like 13 applicants or something.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was
Um,
more than we're used to.
Yes,
And we accommodated a lot of interview times as well. I mean,
we did.
so
You guys, if you ever watch these other counties, a lot of times they only interviewed like 2 or 3 people at most. They don't have, we did 7. So, I'm going to say that I would like to nominate Kyla Dale for that position, and I'm going to say why I'm picking her. She's not from here. is one reason. And over the years, since I've been in office, I'm going on my 5th year, we have had challenges coming from that department. The director before last was in there 20 years, 25 years as a director, maybe. And there's Jeff. Jeff was,
I'm director for 20 years.
I,
No, I was here the night they hired him.
No, I'm pretty sure I was here when they
Greg
hired.
Ramoni was.
no, not, you wasn't here
Jessica
with Jeff. Jeff Fortner was in here when I was a reserve officer back for John.
He was working. I don't know if he was a director.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was, I'm sorry. Yeah. I guess I did say he was director, didn't I? Maybe, okay. Jeff was over there for 20-some years. But I want to see that, me personally, I want to see that department ran differently. Now, is that going to make everybody happy? No. It's a tough call. And I'm going to say this. Back when we was hiring for the county highway department, we had several people, and some of them my friends, lifelong friends went to school with. John, you remember this, actually. And they came to us, they wanted that position, didn't they? But I didn't want it to continue to go the way it was. And the only way you change the way the projection of something is you gotta hire outside so that there's a different mentality and a different way to do things. And so in this instance, we hired Kevin, and Kevin has been a fantastic addition to Scott County. He has brought a lot of things into the county that we weren't doing before. Before, we used to take, when there was a hole in the drive, or I'm sorry, the road, we'd throw a shovel or two of cold patch on it, and the hole that we just patched now stuck up above the pavement 2 inches, and we did the opposite of what the choke hole was, right? Now young guys go through, they cut it out, they replace the asphalt, it's smooth. We go down through there, we hit that spot, we don't hear our tires go boom, boom, you know? So for me, I just think it's time to have new blood over there.
Well, oh, sorry.
So that's why I am going to suggest Kyla Dale. She is very experienced. Jennifer did call around today, and or was it yesterday? Yesterday, and she talked to all the people that she had on her application, and they gave her a pretty good. All of them gave her a pretty good reference. So,
Well, for me, I'm going to nominate Brittany Ward.
Okay.
I strongly believe from hiring within, keeping the experience in the office. Brittany is currently the interim director. She has double the experience that Kyla has. And she also has EMA experience, and she also has management experience, which Kyla does not have from her resume. And so for that is why I'm nominating Brittany Ward.
Well, we did have we had a lot of good people. We did. We interviewed, like say, 7 people, and we had a lot of good applicants. And everybody has a good point on all their recommendations. For me, I'm going to nominate Kyla Dell as well. I mean, Kyla, she's got a bachelor's degree from Indiana State University. She's got tremendous professionalism that I thought showed through. I believe that she has, a great personality, and I just believe that she would dramatically improve overall communications with all of our departments, and I think she'd be a good fit with everybody. I think everybody will love her to death, and I think she'll do a great job. So that's mine.
All right. So I made a motion for Kyla. You are second at that.
I'll second.
So votes 2-1.
Will you be able to notify her?
I'll notify her and I'll get a background check and we'll do a drug test.
And again, that employment would be pending on.
The outcome of
Exactly.
I just want to make clear the record for votes. This isn't a question about anybody's nomination. So you're asking to appoint the person that you believe is, you seconded.
I'll second.
Okay, now I think that you should probably vote in the affirmative on the request or in the negative on that request. I realize that you have a different nomination. But I don't know that there's a second at this time. So let's just record the vote for that position.
All right, so all in favor for Kyla Dell, say aye.
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 If you have something to say, you can.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to get on the record is that EMA deals directly with natural disasters and mass casualty events. And being that Kyla lives outside the county, in case that something like that happens, it would take her to get here a significant amount of time, depending on which way to get in. It could be blocked off or whatnot. Nothing against her. But I believe the EMA director should live close, be able to respond quickly to whatever that situation is. And based on the other factors of experience or lack thereof, that is why my nomination and vote is no.
I don't think she ever indicated she wasn't willing to move here.
I thought she said no, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just.
So it passes 2-1.
Now can I ask a question? It's not about who they chose, about the process, okay? How many people did you call and check references?
We checked references on this girl today, or yesterday.
How many other people did you call and check references?
We narrowed our list down.
We narrowed the list down.
I mean, we interviewed, we may have interviewed 7, but there's a couple of people that stood out.
So did you check their references as well? You see what I'm saying?
We had one local person that we knew. Many times for the positions that we do have local people. That's why we don't do background checks. If it's somebody that lives in town, quite frankly, when we're doing a background check, we know who you are. We know who your kids are. We know your brothers. We know your sisters, whatever.
It's not like they could go to Florida and get arrested and come back, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we typically know.
Just wondering.
We typically would know that. It's not like.
Okay, for me, I liked this particular applicant. I called Jennifer and I asked Jennifer to have her background checked. Coming into this meeting, I knew that this is who I was going to go with. So there wasn't no sense in me having more than one person. If Greg had somebody that in mind that he wanted to, he was free to call and ask for a background check.
And I did.
So those references didn't have
And it
any
was-
impact on the decision. Otherwise, you've done an unfair interview.
No,
I don't understand I
No.
appreciate your comments, but
I mean-
I don't agree with anything you're getting at or what you're trying to lead into.
well,
We will
We
disagree.
won't be mad, we can disagree.
if I would, we would've got a bad reference coming back, which I already heard. But if the reference would have came back, not positive, I would have probably moved to a different, another applicant, don't you think? Or are you trying
I
to?
would think if you had everybody in the running that you would check the references. I don't know.
Well,
I just want to be sure.
Let me address that. Let me address that, Geraldine. The reason I don't call everybody, because not everybody knows that somebody's looking for another job, right? So if I call and tell somebody, hey, I'm checking on this reference, now I could have put that person's job in jeopardy, because now they know that they're being asked, they're looking for a different job. So I'm only going to do that if I know I'm 90% sure that that's who I want.
We looked at 7.
Does that not make sense?
We interviewed 7 people. I can tell you what, I was at a county commission, Ripley County. They're hiring a 911 director over there. They had 7 applicants. Commissioner said, find the top 2, and that's who we interviewed.
Top 2, so you compared the 2? They did.
Find 2, we interviewed 7. I'll be honest with you. I kind of think that we went above and beyond talking to a number of people that came in.
I'm sure she's gonna be great. That's not what this is about. Just because of, it's kind of drama, and you just want everything to be right.
You're right, and that's what we
That's-
deal with, right? We have a lot of drama, so.
Want things to be done right.
Well, okay, but to answer your question, for me, no, I only call who I'm interested in, because I don't want to send out a red flag to anybody who applied for a position. I don't want to let their employer know that they're looking for another job. So, so the next thing on our agenda is job posting for second cemetery part-time person. Can you, so, yeah, I guess we needed to decide, John, do you guys have the funding to pay this person?
No, we don't.
It's in the commissioner's budget, and there's enough there for 2. There's actually 2 part-time people on the salary ordinance for that. But we haven't, I think there were 2 people last year, correct? I think there was only 1 last year, but it was left that way. We've just not hired a second person to mow the cemeteries.
Okay. So we need to post a position, and the
Yes.
commissioners need to hire this person.
Yes,
Since it
because
is our,
it's out of your budget, yeah.
okay. So I'll make a motion for us to post, but this position's there's already money for this position,
There was
right?
somebody in that position at one time.
Yeah.
Been,
I'm not sure how long, quite
Been
frankly. I don't think they were
I
there
mean, we're not-
last year.
We're not creating a position, correct?
been there before.
Yeah,
Was there?
all right.
There might have been, maybe,
Somebody worked it. Part-time,
there were 2 part-time people at one time.
yeah.
And that might have been at the first of last year.
I think first of last year was 2.
Okay.
I think, I'm not positive, but
I'll be honest with you, I'm having a hard time keeping up
they
with
went
it.
out in 1 mid-years.
Okay, providing we're not creating a position.
We're not.
Are you open to?
Yeah, we've got currently 1 guy and help. We've got, a number of helpers out there. Yeah, I'd certainly be open to that.
And off the side,
It's a lot of work.
I really appreciate the board you put together. They're all working together. We have 2 guys working their tails off on it. Called me today, we want to have another meeting next week, so their heart's into this. So,
Yeah.
And also, 2 people who are helping and have no desire whatsoever they're just doing out of the goodness of their heart. Jonathan Abbott and Jared McMeadows.
You just know, that's, just 2 people came out of my head. Yes, sir, you're right.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Doing a great job at Pigeon Room.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
And they're going other places. They're just going out, finding places on the list. Boy,
We were talking earlier, they're out hitting places we've never heard of before.
You have to find these places.
Yeah, so.
God bless
we
him for
thank
it.
him, yeah.
So, you're good if we go ahead and post the position for the mowing?
Sure.
Adam,
I'll say.
I'll make that unanimous.
And I think Jennifer will tell you, what is there, like $21,000 still in that fund?
I think there was 25 something budgeted, and it might be 21. I hate to say right now, I can't tell you off the top of my
But
head.
this, the hire will make close to $12 an hour, is that correct?
Yeah,
Somewhere in
it's
that range.
it's just under $12 now.
Yeah.
So,
The money's there. though. That's-
oh, there's money there. There is money there, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank you.
being on there and
Yeah.
help leading that. We appreciate it.
Yes. Speaking of volunteers, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Consideration of regular special invoices. Has everybody had a chance to look at any regular special invoices?
Okay, here's the,
Did we?
Is that the one Mandy sent out today?
yes.
Yeah, those are-
Oh, I'm sorry. Please excuse me. Thank you, Craig. I skipped over
I'm sorry.
something. Fund creation for compactor line.
Okay, what that is, we need to put a fund, because the donation from Morgan's needs to go into something so we can spend it out for the compactor at the transfer station, but we don't want to just throw it in there like it's income.
Yeah.
We want that to show that it's a donation.
Yeah,
So-
SBA, we definitely want them.
Okay, so do we need to have?
Thanks, John.
Yeah, an ordinance creating the fund and establishing the rules for the use.
What he said, yeah.
We need a motion to create the ordinance or?
Well, I didn't know exactly, like, I didn't know that we had until I walked into this meeting. I didn't know that we had a donation, so I didn't know what the fund creation question was. So, I mean, I could certainly have one drafted for the next meeting for you guys to approve. I don't know. What's the situation with the compactor? Like, what's the timeline for the use of that money?
Well,
We have the check currently, but I don't think
I
it's,
don't know what the timeline is from what you need. I know you reach out and talk to these people.
Well, I haven't told him that. I haven't got that deep in the weeds with him yet because I didn't know for sure
When we get the money.
where we're gonna get the money. But I do remember what was it was about 4 weeks or something or better before we got it last time after we ordered it.
Yeah, there's a lot of lead time there.
Yeah.
I mean, no question.
I mean, it doesn't have, as long as we have the money, I know we got the money and we're gonna use the money for that. I can reach out to him tomorrow. That's not an issue, but what fund are? I mean, we can get it on the order.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean,
and
All I'm saying is, I just don't have an ordinance drafted. I didn't,
Sure, I know. You
yeah,
didn't
we
know.
can go ahead and order it, right, since that's what it's for.
no,
We just can't pay for it.
yeah, no, it's gotta go in the fund before.
We were
I mean, you
just
could
waiting
go-
to make sure we received those funds
Yeah, you
before
could
we.
go talk to the guy and say, look, we have a date certain, August 20th is the date where the fund will be created, the funds will be deposited. And they could be available for use, the next day likely, because it's not. So, I need to probably talk to Heather. I don't necessarily know that it would be an appropriations fund, but I think it probably is, which means even then it would have to go through. I mean, there are funds that are not, because they go through like the annual budget process. I still think that when the money comes in, we'd have to advertise an appropriations use into the fund.
It was donated for that
I understand.
specific purpose, right?
I get that. caution against the use of the money for any other purpose than as described in the donation. But to expend money, right? So like, the idea is, let's say, I'm gonna just make numbers up here, so do not anybody take these seriously, but let's say you have $1 million in the bank, based on a report from the treasurer, so to speak, right? And somebody donates, gives you another $500,000, and puts it, you have it in the bank, right? But in order to expend it, you have to actually go through an appropriations process and put it inside of a budget within the auditor's office. To do that, you have to go to the county council. And you have to advertise to do all those things, and then you can take action or execute contracts essentially using that money. So we're talking a little bit of lag time here. I mean, not much. You could go ahead and, the fund doesn't exist, but if you want to go ahead and approve essentially me drafting an ordinance creating the fund on August 20th, you approve it, create it, deposit it in the bank, and advertise for an appropriation for county council's
September meeting.
September meeting. Is that enough time? 2 weeks?
Yeah, we should have enough time that.
And then they could vote on an appropriation at that point. And after that, yeah, you could go to that person and say, we got the money in a fund that I can, if you want to give me the contract, I can present it to the board and they can approve it. So you get it here by second meeting of September, right? Because you guys meet.
But once it's in that account, it doesn't have to go to council to be approved to be spent for that. Since
No,
there's
it
a
does.
donation
Pretty sure it
for
does.
that, right?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah,
Pretty sure
I
it
would
does.
say so.
But don't you think that would make the guy who donated it pretty upset if it?
I do.
Okay. I mean, you see where I'm saying, that just sounds really strange.
I understand, but I don't make the rules for
That's why I'm questioning.
use of public funds. If there were another way to expend donated funds, again, that's what I'm saying. I'll reach out to Heather, talk to her about it, but I don't know that there's another mechanism for
direction
that.
to do it.
I'll make a motion for Zach to draft the ordinance.
Yes,
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Yes, thank you very much. He does a lot for our county. He really does.
Yeah.
So now we're ready for consideration of regular special invoices.
Okay, we got two special invoices. The first one is a property and liability. Mandy had held that, and we had money, we had about $6,000 left in our property and liability fund after we paid the majority of our insurance earlier in the year. We transferred that over into a line that was created to be a claims payment. With our, it's like the $50,000 that we did for the claims payments in case we had a claim. We want that sitting there. We've transferred $1,000 back to this to pay this bill. That one came in last month.
You guys transferred that?
We transferred it back to pay that, and we'll do an additional to make up for that so that we could get that bill paid, it's same series. So, and then we're gonna have a second one because when we did and the next special invoice, we just received this invoice today. It's for $1,000, and it was for the crime policy that we paid for in lieu of a bond earlier in the year. We had an elected official that didn't get a bond, so we paid for that. We've done the ordinance, but we just now received the bill for that.
Got it, track.
So,
That's very good.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Will we sign this anyway?
I think you can sign the front there at the bottom.
There's only one spot.
We'll just kind of sign in there anywhere.
You gonna say?
Actually, I think, yeah, I
Do we
think
all
it'd be best
sign?
if all three of you signed that, yes.
Sorry. Consideration of payroll.
Oh, and you know what, we need to amend the agenda one more time, because the FMLA that we've tabled a couple of times is here.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Adam second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Say it.
And this is the one that we had before.
Yeah.
Didn't we already agree on this? We just didn't sign it.
It was not voted for in the
Oh.
meeting. We've seen it, but it was not.
We talked about it.
It was
and
not
then we
approved,
moved on.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Yeah, that one slipped through somehow. I remember us looking at it and then we never,
We didn't vote on it,
Yeah,
and the
we
next
voted on it.
time, it was not where I thought it would be. It wasn't in her book. She had a to-do basket. So,
All right.
did we all sign that? Or does it?
no, you'll have to, just don't get in the minutes.
Okay.
Payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous. Oh, sorry. That's not on our agenda. So we gotta amend the agenda, cause
I'm sorry.
we need to amend the agenda for this, right? Because that's not on the agenda.
Special.
That should be regular invoices.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, I'm sorry.
No, I was
I
gonna say. you should be
overlooked
getting on that.
regular.
You're fine.
And just went special. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous. All right. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make that unanimous. Counselor, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just want to, what I would request is that for the August 20th meeting, that you put on the agenda, whether to approve or not the revised, what was it? Revised qualified settlement offer from IDEM. The deadline to ensure that the county obtains the 20% reduction in the automatic 20% reduction in fines is August 25th. I think I put that in an email to everybody today, just to explain the timeline. Everybody should have a copy of it. If you need to, feel free to go through that document. If you feel that there's an issue, you disagree with something, you want to understand how the fine was calculated, you have something that you want changed, we need to have that all kind of ironed out in advance of the 20th, so that I can communicate whatever those requested changes might be with IDEM, and then hopefully have a set in stone qualified offer that you can vote on to approve or not at the August 20th meeting. If not, obviously, probably at this point, they're going to proceed with an enforcement action related to the 2024 inspection and the June 2025 inspection. So everyone should have copies of everything at this point. So you have the original that only had the 2024. You got the revised that has the additions 2025. And if you guys want to make changes, I need to know that in advance of August 20th.
Well, I disagree because you said if we disagree. Well, I disagree with the whole thing because I'll be honest with you, they don't want to fine us until we're fixing things. That makes no sense to me.
I understand. The case is going to be about whether or not we violated specific provisions in the administrative code and or within our own permit. And unfortunately, I think that there's issues that, again, I think taking remedial measures to fix things is not necessarily evidence of something that you did wrong or right, but just be aware.
I'm just curious, did they ever come back and mention anything about, they had claimed, they never received an updated plan and those things, and then we submitted that, did they
Yes,
ever
so actually I have,
backtrack and,
not, they did not.
or did they
ever-
acknowledge it?
They got back with me on the issue,
Mhm.
where I think there was maybe some kind of miscommunication. I don't think they're willing to acknowledge it was on their side. I don't think we're willing to acknowledge it was on our side. I have a working Word version of the document that you did prepare and submit to them. And I have the changes that need to be made to said document ready to submit to IDEM. If you determine you want to enter into this agreement, you would just submit that immediately afterward. So yes and no, I guess.
It's so weird.
Well, so we're gonna have to write up a new plan. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Because they're gonna check off on the one that they couldn't find that Greg put in, and we're gonna fix that, and then it's gonna be a new plan because we've got scales. And we're doing things. So
It needs revised.
it's gonna be revised again. So can I write that revision down, hand that to you?
Yeah.
And us pay you to,
You already pay me.
well,
You don't
okay.
have to do that.
I mean, have you put that revision toward ID, or,
Yeah.
give that to
That's
ID?
That's actually exactly what I'm requesting. Like, if you need in that revision, right, we'll do that. Like the revision, regardless of whether or not, you approve this order or not. Think of them as two different things. One of them is the plan, like the order says you must have a plan consistent with these provisions in the administrative code. So whether or not you approve the order does not affect whether or not we want to make an amendment to the plan that we've already submitted. Like, we could submit the plan that Greg had put together with the changes that are necessary that they've identified, submit that. You know, we could also, you know, then update that and say, hey, also, we need to submit our newest plan, you know, at a later date, or we could do it all at one time. I mean, I don't think there's any harm in any of that specifically.
Well, part of the old, I don't know, I guess agreement that we had with them was them getting a revised plan. That was part of the checklist from a couple of years ago or whatever. And so in order for us to move forward with all of those grievances back then, we'd submitted the plan along with payment, some penalties that.
And we do have to submit a plan. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be like, I don't think that we can negotiate on the timeline for when that revised plan needs to be fully updated and submitted. Like I could submit something that says, deals with the concerns they have. I can say, hey, we need to change this order a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We need another couple, 30 days or something because we've got,
Well, we can stick with the revised, we don't have to do the revised plan until we start doing the scales, right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll want specifics with that, and today we wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
So I'm just going to I will write
yeah, that's fine.
brief description of how the flow will be. Turn it over to these two, let them check off on it, and then give you.
That's fine. The other thing is, everybody got a copy of the Sackler opioid settlements.
Yes,
Um,
that was an interesting reading.
participation forms, so like all of the prior settlement agreements, if the county wishes to participate in this particular settlement agreement, by the way, I got this from our outside counsel who, handled all of our opioid litigation. The deadline is September 30th to participate. Everyone should have the form. It's basically consistent with everything we did for the Teva allergen settlement, the original opioid settlement agreement. They kind of went through some state approval processes. So I just want you guys to have that. I think we probably need to put it on the meeting for August 20th as well, because I don't know that we're gonna have another opportunity to consider it, and it needs to be submitted by September 30th if you want to participate. I know there was a question about, is there a specific date and time in 2025 where we're gonna get the disbursement from all of the other settlement agreements we're already participating in? The answer is really probably dependent on which settlement you're talking about, and I don't even know in that circumstance whether there's an actual date certain for disbursement for each individual packaged opioid settlement plan.
Fair enough.
So that's all I had.
Okay, then,
I got a couple of things real quick.
okay, sure.
So, first of all, I meant to do this earlier in a meeting and totally spaced it because we got off on some other stuff. But anyway, I just want to recognize John Collins. He was awarded the River Friendly Farmer Award. So that's, I think he had went to Indianapolis today to receive that, right? And so we want to thank John and all he does with that. And that's a big deal. And we appreciate John. Couple other things I think that should be on the radar we looked at, or we talked about that we need to look at. I'd like to reach out to Jason Simler, to Baker Tilly, to see their availability to come in to an upcoming meeting, to maybe potentially for them to have the discussion about an upcoming wheel tax. I'd like for them to, bring those projections into us. I think it's something that, obviously, that's a conversation we don't want to have, but I think it's a conversation we need to have, right? And so,
I think we have a choice.
it really does affect local road funding at the end of the day. So my goal would love to just bring a subject matter expert into a meeting, whether it's our meeting or it's a council meeting, that's fine. If you guys wanted to host as well for that's okay as well. We need that information down here at our level at some degree, right? So, and then I know that there was some discussion that's been brought up even tonight, is talking about bonding. I know there's been a dollar amount that has been thrown out. I mean, I for one think that, that needs to be looked at. I don't know if that dollar amount is where it needs to be from a bonding standpoint. I think we need to probably wait on that until we get an idea of what these renovations for the courthouse
So
and City Hall.
The one bonding discussion that I have participated in has to do not with the bond for the courthouse entered for 4.4.
Gotcha. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
And
But I guess parlaying on that, we probably need to look at that at some point. And I guess from our standpoint, we need to try to get more information. I know there's been several things to how do we come up with that number, whether it's through an RFP process, whether it's through just overall estimates or.
It's the county council that does, you mean the overall estimates for this?
Yes.
That makes total sense.
And the reason I want to bring that up is because I know City Hall is potentially looking at being moved in at the Science Park in October. Ribbon cutting and being out of the facility. So from our standpoint, obviously we don't take possession until the end of the year, right? But we need to start, or is it at the end of October?
I think it actually has some provisions in there that allow us to take possession at the time of vacancy if that occurs earlier than.
So, so we'll see, but that's around the corner. And I know we're way behind on this process.
Yes.
I mean, so, and I think we need professional help to come in and say, this is what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that. So
I think it would not hurt to have some type of qualified engineer, structural, qualified engineer, but this come in, look at this building, look at that building. And I think like the city would make that open to us right now and say, here's how you have to make these changes. And this is what we think it would cost. I don't know if they're the ones that actually estimate that, but.
Well, I just happened to run into a guy the other day, and I think he reached out.
Yeah, he'll be on the August 20th
So
agenda.
we could potentially talk to him the next meeting about the process, but their group does work like this all over the state. And they recently just signed off and did the walkthrough in Ripley County. They actually did renovations in their courthouse and then built a new government center. So a little different, but kind of the same stuff. So anyway, I snagged a card from him before he got out of there, and then their folks reached out to me then, and then in turn to Jennifer, so we could just get them on the schedule, just talk to them about the process and how that looks. So I don't know, just food for thought moving forward.
And I think as far as the bonding, that part I think is going to be handled entirely by the county council. That they've already had some not meetings with a quorum of the council, but representatives from the council, less than a quorum, meeting with Bo, Jason, to set a timeline for the bonding timing and how that would look in order to get it done before, I think Bo said our like drop dead was December or something, but they wanted to get it done sooner than that because of rate changes, or I can't remember specifically what they said, but
And that makes
that all
sense. I
seems
just
to have
wasn't
been-
aware of the process.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I didn't realize it. That's all I got.
Better not.
All right, then I'll accept the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
1 second.
I'll make that unanimous.
And Jennifer, if you would go ahead and sign this for